Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Spare Parts Racing. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
Hey, I didn't screw it up this time. Look at that go.
Good job.
Hey,
Good job.
we take the minor victories after a couple attempts. Anyway, on this week's episode, we have, I guess, quite a bit to talk about. We have two races I think we want to go over, which is Nascar at Cota and Indycar's opener and first race on Fox. And we also have, I guess, we've been putting on for a couple weeks, F175 to finally talk about and go over, I guess, our thoughts on the event and team liveries and everything else that happens in motorsports that we want to talk about. So,
Because we don't want to talk about the rest of the world right now.
No.
No, thank you.
If my internet cuts off, it's because it went up 25% or something like that. I don't know. So, yeah,
boy.
without further ado, what do you guys want to start with?
Ooh, you know what? I want to start with IndyCar. That was fun. Also, just the most to talk about, I think.
I think that's fair.
It being the first
Yeah, that's
race of the season,
Lot of
first
hype
race
going in.
with Fox,
Mm-hmm.
all this fun hype, and it's still Alex Palou's show. Damn it.
At least I picked him for my fantasy team on whatever app that was. So, good points there. Not looking so good for the outside of the top 6 prediction I had from last week. Not looking good at all.
Yeah, no, I think we were like, Palou might actually, take a step back this year. No, he does not.
No,
He
no.
is Thanos, and he is inevitable, and he wins everything he touches. However, we did say maybe this isn't Palou's year. Who was the last driver to actually win St. Pete and win the championship? It's been a few years, right?
Ooh.
So,
Oh, maybe there's hope. Who won St. Pete last year?
I mean, technically Joseph Newgarden, and then he got fucking disqualified.
Oh, right. Until the whole, cheating thing happened and...
I'm pretty sure it was Pato.
Was it Pato?
Yeah, Pato got the win after the disqualification.
Right. Okay. So Newgarden won and then disqualified.
Yes.
So Pato won. Right
Yeah.
on.
What's the more important thing to talk about here? Fox or the race?
Honestly, when you first said that, I was going to say the race, but now that I actually think about it, the Fox broadcast was, I guess, just as important because they've already sent out the numbers, and it's
Mhm.
a success because it was up 45%. Viewership was up 45% from last year.
Which is incredible.
So
You say it's a success. I think it's a failure.
really, okay.
What?
I'm curious.
Why?
I do not think this year is off to a good start.
Okay.
so.
You have to explain why because that makes no sense to me, but all right.
Okay, so they had 97,000 last year, whatever, plus allegedly another 100,000 or something on Peacock. They hit 1 million last year, not a problem. This year only gets roughly 400,000 more. Let's say it goes up 30%. But we know Fox is trying. So Fox is doing everything it can to push this sport forward with advertising and putting resources towards IndyCar. And a lot of people were hoping for the 1.5 number.
Okay,
did
but
not
it's also the
They did not average 1.5, and the season opener is a big tone setter for a year. And now you have 3 weeks off to the next race.
true, and I think the biggest the 3 weeks off is part of the issue, right? Having your first race and then having such a big break in between. I think it's hard to keep the momentum of somebody trying to come into IndyCar to actively watch the series. It would be hard to just take the time away from it, right? Because I think with F1 it's so easy to get invested into the season because it's usually week after week, maximum 2 weeks in between races, and then you have the scheduled summer break, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard when your season starts off with such a big break between like the March race and then when it comes back at sometime in April, mid-April. But I don't know, like I feel like it could get better, but I still feel like it's at least up in numbers. Like, yes, they are trying. Okay, it wasn't the 1.5 million, but being up 45% from last year's numbers is still a pretty big deal for a series that has not necessarily garnered the attention that it could.
That is
being
fair.
what it is.
That is fair. But my issues and why, if I'm actually thinking that this is more of a disappointment, I think it's not a good start because, again, the numbers are not great. Yes, it is up, but I think it should be higher. And
Okay.
I think when you look at this race was completely on its own, no competition, was not up against NASCAR. Actually, kind of NASCAR was after it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
NASCAR also did 4.1 million on Fox. Last year, it did 3.3. So that's actually a higher gain on the NASCAR side than the IndyCar side.
In raw numbers, yeah.
Yeah.
Not percentage-wise.
Not percentage-wise, but again, you're quadrupling the audience almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's 2/3, I guess it's 60%, 66% more, right? Roughly. The NASCAR viewership versus IndyCar. So I think you want to hit that 1.5 number. If you can hit 1.5 consistently, that is good growth and that is a good audience. I am concerned that it's not off to a good start. And if they don't think it's off to a good start, then maybe very quickly Fox kind of ditches a lot of its efforts. And the efforts go back to IndyCar, who we've seen prefers to shoot itself in the foot. So on the pure numbers side of things, I'm disappointed.
You were hoping for better.
Yes.
Okay.
On the flip side, things I really liked about Fox and the Fox deal this weekend. The whole like starting race, I guess pre-race was fine. They kind of did a nice little grid presentation of like all the drivers. That's cool. Good to see.
Mm-hmm.
Market your stars, as they always say. I appreciated that Indy NXT was fully televised and had an actual like Fox production of it. I thought that was great. And you had, I think in your was it Indy NXT commentary was what's his
Jack
name?
Harvey.
Yeah, Kevin Lee and Jack Harvey.
Yep.
Who are actually who I think are a really good like B broadcast booth for like hey, let's throw this together. Well, the Indy NXT, or I guess Indy Next, I think it is, as that race is going on. That was actually really good, and that was a pretty entertaining race, and it's good to see that. So I was happy to have that kind of thing. Yes, you have the minor issues with scoring, which we saw throughout the weekend, where guys would score, would delay, and then it would populate on the side. You couldn't have tires, like minor issues, which could have been solved if maybe IndyCar decided, hey, let's televise testing.
Get the bugs out a week early.
It's literally what IndyCar does, not IndyCar, what F1 does.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
Did you not see a lot of the F1 bugs last week in testing? I think they had like Lewis Hamilton, Mercedes still.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're all working
Old
that
habits
out,
die
right?
Yeah,
hard.
exactly. Like all of the like graphics and stuff that takes time. Like your first day, you can't be perfect. So if it doesn't work in a race, it's okay because you had time to test it. But for Fox, it doesn't work in the very first race. It looks bad.
Yep.
Now it'll get
Right.
ironed. It will get ironed out. They will get better, but there were ups and downs all around, I think.
Yeah, and it sounded like they were still like trying to put stuff together. So I was gonna say big shout out to Jack Harvey because I was listening to him getting interviewed by Hinch on Hinch's and Rossi's podcast, and he said he got the call like last Monday
Oh wow.
to come in and do this. So, and I thought like he looked like he had some nerves, which not surprising, but I mean, I thought he was good, right?
Yep.
We'll polish things up after, you know, his first 5 races, his first 10 races, but I thought he was good. Like Sean said, solid B booth.
Honestly, I kind of want to give like Jack Harvey like the Ken Jennings treatment. Like, okay, when Ken Jennings came into Jeopardy, he sucked at first. Everyone was like, "This guy is so
He did.
awkward."
He grew into it.
And you kind of got. I think Jack Harvey really can grow into it, and I think he has the personality for it, and the knowledge, and
Yep.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
the connections. So yeah, give him time. I don't think it's bad at all. I think he's a great guy that
Yeah.
they could just be like, hey, Jack, want to help out?
Yeah.
If you get half an hour, go back and listen to his interview with Hinchcliffe. It is hilarious, and you get a good little behind the scenes look and realize like you just get thrown in the deep end, and it's sink or swim. Good luck. Have fun. Get used to talking while having someone else talks in your ear.
I would love to throw you in that situation and just watch you break down.
There would be 0 words said.
As Taylor just unleashes the biggest cough into the mic. Fucking great.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Imagine trying to talk and having that in your ear. Oh,
Yep.
the worst.
I'd probably
Okay.
yell at someone to shut up. Whoever was talking in my ear, I'd tell them to shut up. Probably. Or just do the what's the broadcasting thing or on like news dramas where they just take the earbud out and keep
Oh
talking.
yeah, the
Yeah.
like thing or whatever.
That'd be me.
Yeah, I could never do commentary because like I'd get fired so fast for swearing. Holy fuck! Oh wait,
yeah.
I can't say that.
You
Yeah,
would.
you
You would have like the largest fine in broadcasting history for swearing on air.
Put me in an F1 broadcast, please. I want to swear the entire time. I think it's more authentic that way, really.
Yeah.
Well, there is an argument to be. I think everybody's
We'll
making
get to that.
the argument that
Exactly.
swearing
to
is human. So
Yeah, fuck that.
Exactly.
But yeah, anything else for the Fox?
No, I think it'll get better. I think it's an encouraging start. It is. I mean, we've already made the complaint, and Taylor just did, and I think that is also where they will lose momentum is the fact that we have to wait until when did we say March 22nd for the next race, so 3 races, so you don't get a chance to really build the momentum. Whereas,
yeah,
like with the F1 summer break, you get midway through, you're bought in, you have storylines, and you want more. Now there's just like, I don't know. We'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks, and teams will figure things out. Can't
That's fair.
really judge too much off of the first race because if you're Nolan Siegel, like to get into the race now, if you're Nolan Siegel or Will Power, like what do you take away from this race? Nothing. And
I don't know,
I don't know,
don't
you
crash.
just say, we'll get him at thermal, I guess, and try and bank some points and hope it lasts more than 3 corners. Simple as that.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
One thing I liked about this. Go ahead.
Can we just shout out Will Buxton for his first broadcast with Indycar? You could tell how much he enjoyed it.
That's fair. Yeah, he did a good job.
He did a good job, but you could also just tell how passionate he is about IndyCar. And like, I think back on his commentating for F1, and I'm like, wow, he's kind of like suffering a little bit, like over in a series that I don't know, like I don't think he necessarily loves as much as he does IndyCar. So it's kind of cool that he's circled back and come back into that. And I thought he was really good. He's a very good addition to that booth, and I always love Hinch's commentary. So more of that.
Honestly, okay, at one point, Hinch and Townsend are going to punch each other in the season.
Probably.
Their banter is
It'll
fantastic.
be the Indy 500.
Probably. So,
It'll be the 500
like,
when...
Their banter is fantastic, and I think Buxton is a very good, like, hype guy for the series, for the commentary.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, again, good booth. One thing I really appreciate about this weekend, I guess moving away from the Fox side to the race, I actually enjoyed the new soft tire Firestone brought.
Yeah.
That super soft could only do like one qualifying lap on, and also you really had to manage it during the race.
Yeah, I think guys were getting at most like 15 laps in a stint. So I don't think I have a pit chart here. I think like the primary was going like 35.
Yeah.
Somewhere 30, 35 range.
Yeah.
Some guys are stretching to like 40.
Mm-hmm. Like I feel like I saw some people saying like I think you need to make the softer tire like last longer, make it a little bit better. I don't know. I actually really like that software was mostly for qualifying. That IndyCar qualifying like kind of reminded me of F1, where like essentially you'd go out and you would have like maybe one prep lap, and then you had to nail it. And like if you're a guy like Rossi, yeah, didn't nail it, suffered. You started the back. A guy like Pato O'Ward did not get his qualifying together, started way behind. I think it put way more importance on qualifying and nailing your like I would say like the couple laps you really got on that tire. So for me, like I thought that tire is fantastic for qualifying, and if it can transfer into a race, I would just want to see the black tire be harder and slower. So like that tire will last forever, but I feel like it should not have the pace that the soft does. I think you need to have a little more disparity that way, of like really stretch the difference of the tires, especially if like it can only go like 15 laps. Like imagine you could double stint the soft one and get the same speed out of doing a single stint of the, I guess, primary. That would be fascinating in terms of strategy in IndyCar. So I would love to see that kind of change. But all in all, I liked the tires Firestone brought for this race. I think it's a really good start and could produce good racing if they nail it in the future. I know that's a very like niche thing to say.
That's okay.
It is, but like.
But hey,
if
you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it.
The strategy is important in these races. It's not just.
It is.
Oh, see what happens. Like, this race was won on strategy.
Yeah, because you had two separate strategies. I'll start, especially with that. So
the yellow.
First lap, third corner, low power punts, Nolan Siegel, Louis Foster sort of just gets turned around.
He has nowhere to go.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where you already had a divergence. Herta, I think, was leading that second strategy, who came in early, right? And I think they were just sort of banking on a yellow later on in the race, and this was surprisingly clean. Like they're after that, there was just nothing. It was everybody sort of sitting around and waiting and trying to manage it. And I'm not surprised, therefore, who ended up at the top then because of that. But yeah, like it was a clean race that just didn't work out for those guys on that second strategy. Yeah,
it's unfortunate, but hey, that's the risk you run. If anything else happens, it can fall your way. And like, it's no surprise that Pelot just finds his way to the top.
Mm-hmm. Well, really and again, no surprise that it's Pelot and Dixon 1-2.
I mean, Dixon is surprised when you learn after the race that his radio didn't work.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
Dixon didn't have a radio.
His radio didn't work?
He didn't have any communication with either like his crew or anything. It was just him making a call.
Wow.
He
Good
strategized
for him.
himself.
I mean,
to
I know
second.
that, like,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
I always hope for good things for Dixon at the beginning of the IndyCar season.
No, I think it just goes back to my point of last week in our predictions that this season is cursed for Dixon. His engine blew in testing. The first race, he has no radio. The second place is miraculous, given all that.
Yeah.
You're going to see
again,
next race, he's going to have a pit stop failure.
many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. As we
Oh,
learned
boy.
many times through that race, Scott Dixon's just cursed to finish second and never win St. Pete anyways. So
Yes.
that's just his destiny to end up there regardless of what happens.
It is the destiny.
That is very
So-
true.
But yeah, very impressive performance. Helps when you've been around since before the fucking radio was fucking invented. So
Taylor, that's a joke. He's not serious.
yeah, no, I'm not being serious.
She thought for a second.
I knew you weren't. I was like, he's not that old. Poor Dixon.
But yeah, no, very impressive drive from him. Newgarden, it looks like I think they said they sort of misjudged it on his last pit stop and left him a little short, which is why he sort of fell off right on the back half of that last lap.
Yeah.
So unfortunate
Didn't
for
Herta
him.
have like a disaster stop?
Yes, he did.
Was it Herta?
Yeah.
Yeah, whose like back rear right wheel or whatever didn't go on.
Yeah.
That was a disappointing.
That was a long stop, and then also just again not the right strategy for how clean this race was to get shuffled to the back.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunate for him. Scott McLaughlin starts on pole after a great qualifying day after he wrecked during practice. I think it was practice 2.
It was like the second half of practice 1 because they have the weird practice formats now too.
Right.
Right.
But looked really strong in the first half of the race. Ended up leading 40 laps, which was I think the high on the day. Yep, highest on the day. I don't know. I'm trying to think like where this went wrong really, and you can't really point to anything overly bad. Just
Didn't have the pace.
Yeah.
Like if a
Didn't
yellow
have the pace
falls the right
after-
way, maybe his strategy works out. Like, hey, it's unfortunate
Yep.
you're still a top 5, and those are the finishes you need.
Yeah.
Any other performances you want to
And
highlight?
then- I mean, so the weird part for this was, and again, this is just how the strategy fell, seeing VK and Rossi both end up in the top 10. That was surprising. But, I mean, if you're those two guys, that's a fantastic start. Christian Lundgaard, great start in your first race for McLaren, also in the top 10. Who was surprisingly strong, both in terms of qualifying and the actual race, were the Shank guys until
Yep.
Marcus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ding,
Meyer
ding,
Shank.
Until-
ding. I wanted to talk
until-
about that 100%.
Yep. Rosenquist finishing in the top 7. Armstrong looked really strong until
Clipped the wall.
they hit the wall. That tire, they were saying that the tire was loose after one of his stops. I don't think that was the case. It just looked like it was out of alignment, and it was also pointed out that if it was a loose tire, he would have lost it somewhere, but
Right.
just broke something on the rear end of that car. But they were both running up there, and Rosenquist was
they were top
hustling
6, were they
McLaughlin.
not? Like they qualified
They were
top
running
6?
they were running 2-3 after Herta pit,
Yeah.
and they looked to be in a very strong spot because it looked like Rosenquist, being the lead guy, was hustling McLaughlin around to try and get him off his pace. Armstrong sitting back a little bit, maybe to sort of hedge the bet there.
I
But
don't
those
want
guys
to
looked strong.
toot our own horn too much. But when you look at our predictions and we talk about a lot of teams and guys that need to do well and stuff, and like we kind of nailed that talking Shank. Like we're like, hey, this team could be one that really jumps up with those two guys.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Lundgaard
And the guy that
with
finished ahead
McLaren.
I was gonna say, and the guy who
Right.
we said needed to have a good start to the season and a strong season overall, and who was just ahead of Rosenquist with Marcus Ericsson getting into the top 10.
Yep. So
So
So go us.
Exactly. Like, yeah, I feel like, the blind squirrel found a nut. Like, go us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't wait till all of them fall off in 2 weeks.
I can't wait till Pelot wins it by, I don't know, Road America at this rate.
Yeah.
No.
How many races does he win in a row? Let's figure that one out.
Ooh.
I'm going to say at this rate, 5, because he's not going to win Indy. But yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
anything
about
else
right.
to add for Indy? Nah, move on to Cota.
No,
I
Pat,
don't think
I was
so.
gonna say Pato had a rough day, and no one else really here. We talked about the split strategy again. Unlucky for Siegel and Power at the start, and Louis Foster to just sort of get caught up in it.
Okay, Cota.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Cota.
And punt the IndyCar talk now. Because
Yep.
on to Cota, because we still have to get to F1. So, yeah.
Right.
NASCAR at Cota this week, running a different variation of the track, this time without the very long straight. I wonder if they kind of changed that because of the rain they had a couple years ago. Because, they had a couple incidents where
maybe.
guys lost it in the straight and they just didn't see anything. So, yeah, new layout. I think it was pretty good. It was I think it was a successful race. Very entertaining. You had from the Xfinity race to the Cup race, a lot of action all around the track. Guys that would, loop it, bin it, push guys, hit guys, full contact, NASCAR shit right there. It was good all around. And I think it produced some pretty good endings, I think, for both Xfinity and for the Cup race. So, yeah. In this one, you had Christopher Bell coming through in the end. At one point, it looked like Kyle Busch might get it. At one point, it looked like Shane Van Gisbergen's going to be the sure favorite. Like, there were so many guys at different points in this race. Like, yeah, of course they're going to win this. Oh, they didn't.
Yeah, like I would say, like SVG, I think stage 1 and stage 2, and he was consistently up there. Also, guys, I watched this entire race from start to finish.
Wow.
I was so proud of myself.
Impressive. Way to go. I'm proud of you.
Like from start to finish, and I actually enjoyed it because it was a really good race. It also reminded me, I was thinking about Mean Girls a lot because I like the track with the track limits. I'm like, oh right, the limit does not exist.
It doesn't. It
just
doesn't.
go off everywhere.
Oh my god. Going through the S's
does not exist.
I'm like, okay, we're not even on the track here. Like, they are inside the curbs.
Yeah.
Like, at least make it.
Yeah,
they have to keep
and
two tires on the track. Oh.
It does remind me very much of every time that the Canada series, the NASCAR Canada series comes to Mosport, and we're always told that track limits don't really matter. It's wall to wall. They don't care. So I'm like, so I guess it tracks for Cup Series. But anyway, SVG, I thought he had a really good, consistent race. I think he was for sure the favorite going in because he's just the road course guy. But yeah, I think he struggled in stage 3 a little bit. But Busch did pretty good stage
I was surprised.
3. But the ending I thought was fantastic. Yeah.
When you had Busch falling back,
like
you had
Byron
Bell,
could have gotten
Byron.
it. Oh,
It was so entertaining.
also props to Bell's wife, who is so dialed in. Incredible. Did you not see the cutscenes?
No, I did. I was watching the side by side. Yeah, she was in it. I think my favorite one of her was then when I think he was behind Busch. You could see her hands just doing this, like punching. I think she's saying fucking. I think she's saying hit him. I think she's saying move him out of the way. Just hit him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a funny one. It was nice. I kind of liked how when after the race, when Bell won, he could park it right in front of like the pit wall, and like his crew was there, and his wife came over and stuff like that. That's cool that you don't get like a normal oval where you have to like jump across the whole infield basically. So.
Oh right, yeah.
Byron had a unfortunate weekend, coming second in both Cup and Xfinity. Oof. Talk about being the bridesmaid on the weekend.
No kidding.
So, rough one for him. Both times coming up just short. I do want to talk Xfinity for a second and tie this into the Cup race because Connor Zillage won. Incredible in the Xfinity race. Like he, I think, had a couple issues in that race, got bounced back, and essentially had to drive through the field like twice to win the race. So he looked unreal. He looked fast. He wanted to carry that over into the Sunday, and I think at a certain point he did. He was looking good.
Mm-hmm.
If
he
was. If he doesn't pick up that puncture in that turn 1 incident where Chastain's trying to make up a bunch of spots, I really want to see where he would have been, because stage 1 he was last essentially, and I think when Suarez took that one corner a little too hard over the curb and wrecked himself, he was running like 14th again.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, I think Suarez was like 9th at the time where he spun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, him and Zillage, like, two of the, also, I think it's kind of hilarious. Two of the betting favorites were Zillage and Suarez.
Yes.
Smoke each other, take each other. It's like, oh, that's hurting someone out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
So
Yeah.
I felt bad for him. And like, it's going to show on the record, his first Cup start last.
Yeah.
He don't deserve that. He
that
should have had
that's
an easy
I
top
think,
10.
Yeah, I think people will know the story of what happened there. And I mean, who knows? Like, he'll have many races to come. He's only 18. He's
only 18.
He's
Oh
only
my
18.
gosh.
I've been saying this guy is like the next guy. He's everything he touches.
He's the guy.
He's so good.
Yep. Yep. Well, I mean, he might have not wrecked, but he might have taken out his teammate who he might also take out of the 99 car and insert himself if he keeps racing like he did at Cota. Right?
We'll see.
If Trackhouse may not want to wait, and I think Suarez's contract is up this year.
I think everyone wants Zillage. I guarantee Cadillac wants him for F1. I would not be surprised if any big teams want to poach him in NASCAR.
Yep.
If I'm an IndyCar team, I would also be looking to steal him because clearly he is good on road courses and ovals. Like, he can do it all. Like, the guy's talents are endless. Like, he can go wherever he wants, which I think is impressive.
Yep. Sky's the limit.
Very much so. Driver I'm disappointed with.
Okay.
Qualified amazing for a road course.
Okay.
Bubba Wallace.
Oh, yeah.
He historically is not good on road courses.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Reddick qualify for 1-2. Reddick finishes respectable third. Bubba falls down to 20th. What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for stage 1, it was that he was one of the few that got the penalty because he was the first one to have to take that. Rather than the drive-through penalty, they have that little turn 13, 14 lane. You drive in, stop, and then go again.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Right.
So that sort of killed stage 1 for him, which he ended up winning, but that's just because I think he sort of said screw it at the end, and they'll take the
Didn't want
stage
to
points.
Yeah, want the playoff points.
Yeah.
Yeah, pit early, get the or roll or yeah, no, he pit after the stage and just rolled through. Yeah, that's it. So, which I mean, smart at that point. Everybody else is going to pit to try and hold track position, take the playoff point or take the points where you can get them. You're not getting a whole lot back in 20th, so screw it.
Yeah.
See if you can take advantage of something. But stage 2 was clean, so couldn't really take advantage of it. So I think that's just sort of where he not screwed himself, but that's just how his day went after that penalty. So
yeah, but I'm just surprised because he clearly showed pace early, but just never really had pace afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he should have been up there by the end, but just never did.
And just again, I think he just got the bad end of the track position game.
That's fair.
And just the car wasn't strong enough to get up through, and I don't think he's skilled enough to get through on a road course.
That's fair, because we know he's not good on them.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Any other Cota things you want to talk about? I don't have as much to hit on this. I thought it was a good race. It was fun. Bell had a good win.
Yeah.
Zilich won. Zilich had a great Saturday, terrible Sunday.
Yep. I'm gonna say just for SVG.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on. That car needs to find some get up on the restarts. That was the thing that killed him.
Yeah, that's
he
fair.
just I was waiting on. So what was it? It was the Denny Hamlin, Austin Dillon caution where Denny, he said he got into some dirt or something and just slid into Dillon.
Oh, yeah, and Dillon got beached.
And Dillon got beached in the kitty litter. But I was like, so SVG has the freshest tires, which did end up making a difference because you could see the pace that Bell had versus Busch towards the end of that stint.
Oh, yeah. Busch fell right off a cliff.
Yep, and SVG had a couple extra laps on Bell. So I was sitting there like, oh, SVG has got to take advantage. But he just fell back. I think he fell back to like 14th on that restart. And I was like, where the fuck are you going? He didn't have a single good restart all day. So I don't know if it was something in the car or just him not getting the timing right. I don't know what it was. He just needs to figure that out and he'll be set. Or he needs NASCAR to be like, we don't like these stages on road courses. We'll get rid of them.
They did that and they quickly brought them back. So I don't think that's happening.
Yeah.
I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it. But
I thought Chase Elliott in 4th was pretty good. And we might.
That's amazing considering
he used to be the guy for road courses.
Yep.
And I think with this car, he has definitely fallen off. Maybe he's figured something out, and maybe he's going to be better in road course this year. Because that used to be a guarantee win at least once during a season was a road course for him.
Yep.
So maybe it is, maybe it won't be. We'll see. All in all, I was going to say fun races this weekend. I think St. Pete was good.
Yeah.
Cota was good. It was a nice weekend to sit inside and watch some racing.
Yep.
Yes.
Anyway,
right.
Move on to F1. I think that's all. Let's go into F1 75 because we've put this off way too long.
Yes.
Yep. I want to know everyone's thoughts on the event.
Okay. Jack Whitehall.
Fantastic.
Hilarious.
Yep.
I love him as a comedian. I'm so glad they chose him. He's one of my favorites. The event as a whole, you could very much tell that none of the drivers wanted to be there. I think they were all like, this is really dumb. Why are we doing this? But I kind of thought it was like it felt long for what they were doing. but I also understood why they were doing it, I guess. But like the livery stuff, like it just felt so like drawn out, I guess.
That's fair.
Yeah, well, it seems like the mandate for the teams was you get 5 minutes, fill it however you want.
Mm-hmm.
Go. Show us. Have fun. And some teams, I think, did all right. Like, I mean, so some, like Aston Martin, just leaned into the James Bond theme. That's not really a surprise.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys.
Alpine was a DJ set, and I didn't really know what was going on.
ranked.
It's kind of odd.
I put a ranking of all my car liveries,
did you?
and I made a ranking of all the actual presentations. Alpine is fucking last.
Yeah, it was so weird.
Yeah.
Although apparently it was the guy that did the F1 theme. I had no idea.
Cool. Maybe say that.
I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, it was like the guy that made the F1 theme. I was like, what are you talking about? Who is this We Are Dreamers guy?
Yeah, I think they Whitehall did say that, but at the end, like, I don't know, I was waiting for something
to happen
else to happen. Yeah. Like, I was like, maybe this is just like the interlude between like the first 5 cars, the last 5 cars, and that's just what they're doing. And then Alpine's presentation last week. No, it was just, here's a DJ, here's the car.
Here's a 4.5 minute DJ set. I timed it.
Yeah. And that's one where it's like, read the room a little bit. You can have a comedian who can come in and make jokes and make stuffy rich people uncomfortable, but a DJ is not going to be able to pump that crowd up. It doesn't.
So you wonder about the budget, right? Like, what's the budget that every team got for this intro? Because like some of them were very straightforward. I did think that like the amount of effort that Aston Martin put into the 007 stuff, I thought was like, makes sense, kind of cool, good for you. Makes, like at least it makes it kind of interesting. But that DJ set was just brutal. Nobody knew what was going on.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough. Especially for like one of the liveries that was actually like one of my most favorite that they debuted. And like of the liveries, I actually thought Alpine's was like up there for me. Very disappointing presentation. But whatever.
I think also a really bad presentation, which... Okay, I liked it sort of because it was kind of a cool premise, like the Red Bull one, with like all the different car people, yada yada. But they really just used that to kind of hide around the car, and like didn't really want to show off the car too much. Just like everyone crowd around the back of it and wave and come over 30 seconds and we're done. Yeah. Yeah. So that was kind of a weird one. I did find it a
little bit funny. Yeah, I did find it a little bit funny how Christian Horner was booed.
That is funny.
And then Max was booed, which kind of was like, why are we booing Max? Like he's got nothing to do with this. Like we can boo Horner because like, yeah, it's Horner. Like no one likes him, but Max I don't think deserves the boos.
Yeah, it's fair.
That was kind of sad. The FIA booing was hilarious though.
That was funny.
The best, yes.
Yeah, that combine that with Jack Whitehall and Gordon Ramsay's little thing there. That was great, and Gordon actually swearing. I don't know if that was like scripted for him to actually swear or to like partially swear and Jack to cut him off sooner and get the mic away. But the fact that it actually got out there on an F1 air broadcast is hilarious.
Oh, it's such a fuck you. It's such a fuck you to the whole FIA thing. Like
it is. Yeah. It is. And what's better, what I really loved about that is like Gordon Ramsay is like a big F1 fan, right? Like he goes to races all the time. Like he's a consistent face in like I guess the celebrities that go. And he's also like, that's just what he's known for. Like he swears all the time, like on network television and they just bleep it out. Like it's Gordon Ramsay. Right. So I thought that he was kind of like the perfect person to like have that bit with, whether or not it was scripted. I wouldn't be surprised if he just did it because like it's Gordon Ramsay. He just does that stuff.
I think some of the unscripted stuff are also some of the best. Like when Jack Whitehall was talking, like, Charles, don't look in my eyes. Like, the tension.
I also think of Charles Leclerc when making love to my girlfriend.
Yes, exactly. Like, those things that were hilarious. And
you could tell how uncomfortable they were.
Oh,
and, like, they
my
didn't know how to laugh.
No, not at all.
But it's so funny.
Yeah, but that, again, that's where like you can have a comedian who can make those kind of jokes, and Jack Whitehall has that delivery to make it, and it's gonna feel uncomfortable just because F1 is so like rigid
uptight
and proper and uptight. Yes.
He also made a joke, I think about like the tax bracket is like the only thing that actually scares them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he was the perfect choice for that though, because like I think like British comedy is a little bit different than like comedy that we have over here in North America, I find. So I think he was just a little like he was able to, I mean, he's also like he is a rich kid. Like he grew up rich. His father's famous. So I think that he was just able to kind of make fun of that crowd with it and like make them uncomfortable, but in a way that wasn't like too much. So I think he was actually like probably the perfect choice for that event.
All right. Do we want to actually talk about the actual car? Oh, not the actual cars, but the liveries.
I think that's a great.
If there's
place.
if there's no other thoughts on we made rich people uncomfortable for 2 hours and cracked some jokes and
one last thing
Ramsay
I'd say.
despair.
I think what's great about this event is that it was an event for fans. F1 and a lot of motorsports do not really have events for fans. If you compare it to a lot of stick and ball sports like football, like baseball, hockey, basketball, they have fan events, and it's either all-star games, it's drafts, it's stuff like that where you can get basically your fans interested and connected with the sport. This is one of those things where I really thought of this as like a F1 draft, essentially. Like I thought the vibe was very much the same, where you had a whole bunch of fans from all different, who supported all different teams, different drivers, all in one building. And I thought the atmosphere by them was fantastic. And I would actually like to see events like this more in F1 to be more a fan event and, you know, try to lean into it more. And maybe you could move it around. Maybe do a different continent every year. This one was in UK. Maybe bring one to...
You already know where it's going if it's North America.
Where?
Vegas?
Viva Las Vegas.
But I would say, like, even bring it to places where your race isn't. Take it to New York. Imagine that in MSG.
Yeah. They should. They've done events in New York when they've come to the States, right? Like there's and they've done San Francisco.
I would take that to Germany too. Far. Like, you know, Germany doesn't have a race anymore, but they still have F1 fans. Bring it there.
LA would be a good one too, though. Like for America, LA would be a good one.
Take it to Japan. Take it to Australia. Like you could do a lot of things with that of moving it around. But yeah, I think it's a fun event, and I'd like to see F1 experiment with it. And they tried something new, and I think overall, it was a success. It was a success. Like the event worked. The only people that may have not liked it were the rich hoity-toities, and at that time they can hoity-toity that up their ass.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes.
Actual cars.
Actual cars.
The cars.
So.
Am I the only person that made a ranking, or did everyone else do a ranking of...
I didn't really do a ranking. I did like rating.
Oh. I did a rating with a ranking.
Yeah, but I only did liveries. I didn't do the presentation like you.
Let's
but
do
yes,
liveries.
We all agree. Alpine last.
Alpine was the worst.
Alpine so last.
My favorite was Haas, actually.
For the presentation?
Yep.
What did they do?
I don't remember. Because I was ranking them as they came up. I'm like, oh, I like that. I like that. I actually
wasn't it?
It was like
did
team
they have
related.
Kane Brown?
Oh yes, they did. Yes. Which, yes, makes sense. Got the American country singer.
At the American, yep.
And that was
Right.
actually one of the better
yeah.
performances. Yes, good job, Steven. Yeah.
Okay.
They
Thank
really
you for
leaned. They
remembering.
really leaned into the U.S. side of it, and I thought that was fun.
Right.
Yeah, they should.
Right, right.
They get one more year of free, that being the free space.
Yes.
So use it while you can.
All right. So, what are we doing? Rankings or ratings?
Ratings, and you can
Yeah.
sort of, because I feel like a lot of mine ended up in roughly the same spot.
Mid.
Yeah.
Mid.
I have like
Well,
a few in mid.
So we'll start. Like we've already started talking about Haas. Where are we putting the Haas car? Little less carbon fiber this year. A little more white on the front nose and side pods.
I gave it a 4 to 10.
4, yeah. You know what? I was
Yeah.
at a 5, so
Like it's a mid-range one. It's not exceptional. It's fine.
Yeah, I would also give it a 5 out of 10. Like I
I'll
think
be
it's better
honest.
than last year's.
There's only one that I had as like best livery. Only one.
Okay.
we know who it is.
Can we get to that one next?
Okay, so yeah, so
Can we get to the winner?
hang on, I've got an order here.
Oh man,
It's just
fine.
copy and pasted, so stick with it. Williams.
Honestly, I like it better than last year's one.
Yeah.
It's still mid.
It's like very blue.
Yeah.
Very blue. I would give it a 6 out of 10 because I think I like the blue more this year than last year. I think last year had more of kind of that glossy tone to it. This looks very like kind of a matte blue. Which I think is just cleaner. Like it looks cleaner.
Yeah, I was also sitting around a 6. I think getting the who's their new title sponsor, Atlassian or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Thankfully for them, it was a very easy work in with it. Them being able to just do like a white stencil onto it. So, but it works well with their scheme as is. So, yeah, I was sitting around a 6. Like it looks good, but it's not. Wow, this is not going to be one of those iconic liveries I look back on. Sort of
Still
thing.
got that Duracell battery at the top.
I actually love it way more this year than I did last year. It's shinier this year. And it looks so much like a battery
does,
more. Like
yeah.
It looks great. I love the battery.
It does
now.
look like way more than a battery. I forgot that Golf was one of their sponsors now. Like Golf left McLaren and went to Williams.
They
So
don't
I'm
utilize
kind-
it. They should.
I
They can't
know,
afford
and
to do
I
a
think that's the
special
thing.
one-off.
It's like
That's true.
that's true. You're right. They can't afford that. Okay, moving on.
For lack of a better name, I'm just going to call them Sauber because, again, we went over this when they changed the name. It depends on what country you're in. So, Sauber. The, was it the Brat car?
The Brat car.
The Brat summer car.
2 out of 10.
Thank
I
you.
don't think I'm ever
Thank
gonna
you.
like this car.
I hate this car.
Really,
Oh my
I
god.
hate it.
Thank you, Taylor. Everyone else seems to love this one, but I'm like, I cannot stand it. It looks like something
It
out
looks
of like
worse than last year.
it's something someone makes in the Motorsport Manager game. Like it's a generic as fuck livery where the front nose of it is green and that's it, and it's just black the rest of it. It is so lazy. I hate it.
Mm-hmm. I gave them a slight increase just because they actually like put some color on it and didn't just have carbon fiber with green outlines.
It's gonna be carbon fiber though anyway.
I know.
And like
They have zero money.
They only painted the driver's seat, like the monocoque there, and the nose. That's it.
Yeah. So that's why I gave them a 3. Slightly better than last year.
I actually really don't like this one.
Actually getting.
I honestly think it's worse than last year because somehow the green got more lime green, and I feel like it's uglier than it was last year.
Like last year, it's a black car with green accents. This year, it is a green car from the front, a black car from the side. It reminds me of. Do you remember Renault's car? It used to be. If you looked at Renault, I think this is back in like 2017. From the
Oh,
side,
yeah.
from the side, it was all black. It was a black
Yeah.
car from the side, but
And then
from
yellow
straight
on the
on,
front.
it was pure yellow. It looked sick like that.
Yep.
This is like they attempted that, but they suck at it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Agreed.
All right, so low ratings on the Sauber.
Yes, I'm actually glad we
I
all
will.
agree
I
on
will.
that.
Yeah. The only thing is, I will give them bonus points if Charlie XCX comes out at any point supporting
Oh,
them.
come on.
Just because that'd be hilarious. That's the one thing that they can do to save this and maybe salvage like a 4.
No, false.
If she was there
only
at
thing
the
that will save
presentation,
this-
yes.
Okay.
If
Yes,
she was
fair.
there and the drivers did the like apple dance,
I have no idea what
that
is,
maybe
but
would
sure.
have saved it.
I also don't know the apple dance. Steve, are we old?
We are old.
Oh,
What?
man.
You guys didn't see that? It was everywhere.
We're old.
Maybe. Yeah.
Whoa.
Anywho,
Whoa,
before we
okay,
go,
our
before we
algorithm's so different.
before we go down the aging rabbit hole, Alpine. Hello, Tooth.
Okay.
Yes, the cat makes an appearance.
I actually love this car. I love this car.
I thought it
I
was a
would give it
meh.
a solid like
Sorry, Kat.
7.5 out of 10 for me. You give it a meh? Why?
I gave it a 6. I
Yeah,
put
I
it in
was
the
at 6
same
too.
vein as
Okay.
Williams, to be honest.
I was lower
Really?
on it at the actual showing, watching it on rack and testing. I was like, okay, you know what? It looks better than I originally thought. So I was at a 6 as well.
It's a little too like bubble
I
gum.
just
Yeah.
I like that they incorporated more of the pink in it this year than they did last year. So I actually kind of really like that. It just has more going on. It's a little bit more colorful. So I think 7.5 out of 10 for me. But
Okay.
I like it. Not my favorite, but I like it.
That's fair.
All right. Here you go. Visa, Cash App, MasterCard,
Nope, no,
Venmo,
not.
Venmo, Racing,
V-carb.
One, that was a great bit in the whole
Web.
thing.
Dark Web.
I will
Dark
say
web.
the whole VCAR bit they did was fantastic.
Yeah.
That being said, best livery.
Yep. I gave this one a 9.
Really? Yeah, it is actually really clean. It's really nice.
I also
It's
gave
better
this
than
one a 9.
last year's.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I'll
Honest-
give
it's a white Red Bull livery, and it really just
Yeah.
looks good.
It does look really good. I would agree. I think 9. Yeah, it's
9's
probably
across
the
the
best
board.
one. Yeah.
Excellent. As Cat gets evicted.
Evicted.
But yeah, I
Not
there weren't
supposed to
a whole lot of
acknowledge me
notes.
evicting the cat.
No, I will acknowledge you evicting the cat.
Why?
Fine.
All of our YouTube viewers can see it.
That's valid.
All 3 of them.
Oof. Self-burn. That's rare.
Yep. Aston Martin.
I don't know. Same as always.
Yeah, it's honestly I kind of liked a little bit like I liked the little silver on the roll hoop. I don't really like the side pods, the black on it. I don't know. It's some good, some bad. I think I gave it like a 7 because like okay, the Aston Martin with like the nice little stripe thing, it's a clean look. It looks great.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Like it does, and like the racing green is always going to be really nice. So like it kind of always sits at the 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
But it's just same old, same old.
Yeah, and like
You're not giving me anything new here.
yeah, and like the Aramco in the back, the nice blue to green fade kind of thing. Okay, it's nice, yeah. Yeah, it's nothing new, but the minor tweaks, I like one of them. I don't like the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're pretty much all the same there.
Yeah.
Forza Ferrari.
Oh,
What do
so
we
much
think?
so much potential.
I'm very
So much potential.
I was very mixed as this thing got rolled out, and then we slowly got to see more and more of it.
Okay.
It's the blue. It's
So-
the blue.
Yeah, I'll always love Ferrari and Ferrari Red, But goodness gracious, did they have to do that white stripe for HP and the weird blue? It does not look good. It's like a 6 out of 10. Because, like, I love the red, but the back of it is just terrible for me.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Disagree, because I love the white.
Really?
I love the actual white stripe on it.
Interesting.
It is very 2000s Ferrari with like the Marlboro
Fair.
white. I think that is great. The issue is the big spot of blue. If they had done the HP logo in like a negative, either like a black or a red of the outline, because it didn't have to be blue. But it is.
I don't know, but maybe that's in there. But maybe it's in the contract.
It
with
probably
HP.
is.
Like, it has to be blue.
You have to have at least 14 HP stickers all over the. That's another thing also. How many fucking HP logos? There's one on each front wing. There's one on the wheel cover thingy. There's one on the halo. There's one on each driver's gloves. There's 2 on the rear wing. There's one on.
There's a lot.
There's so many HP logos. It's like, okay,
they
I
up,
get it.
They up their sponsorship.
Yeah, which is nuts.
Like, how much money is their sponsorship? Because holy crap!
And then, did you guys see the rear of the wing?
That's exactly where I wanted to go next.
It's so
pure blue.
It's blue
like, this
IBM.
Is Ferrari.
What?
Yeah.
What?
This is Ferrari.
So, like, honestly, I'm fine with the white. I'm fine with the red. I'm fine with the black. It's the blue. Why is it blue?
That's fair. That's so fair. I don't love this for Ferrari. I really don't. So it's like a 6 out of 10.
I hope this car doesn't win a championship, because I actually hate the blue that much.
So, Sean,
no, don't say that.
What'd you have as a number?
I think this one I put potential 10 out of 10, actual 8.
8.
Okay.
Because there's so much potential.
Yep.
It's just the blue.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the F2001, and that white stripe would have been like perfect to fit in where that old Marlboro logo was.
True.
And actually,
maybe it's the blue. Like, honestly, maybe it's the blue that's so jarring.
Steven, you literally have, I think, an F1 like 2001 or 2004, one of those in that era diecast. He does right there. Like,
there we
something like that.
Like this, like, again, you can see it. Like Sean said, it's very close.
That would have been good.
All your different little, you have your different little stuff there. Your wing is white. It's very, very close to getting there. They have the right idea.
They should have gone just that, but I guess
blue.
HP paid a lot of money for their blue.
Honestly,
but
HP
anyway.
up their sponsorship.
I also would have taken, if you instead of putting the giant IBM blue back of the rear wing, I would have been fine if they just made the halo blue.
Yeah.
Make the halo stand out.
Actually, you know what? Yes, I would go for that. I think that would look good.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to like actually see it to really judge it, but I guess I could see it. That's the other thing. Like, it is hilarious. Like, looking at this version and then looking at this version, and I get this is a die cast, but the amount of fucking logos that they've slapped on this fucking car versus this, where it's Tic Tac, FedEx, Shell.
To be fair, the rear wing had a bunch of them back in the day.
Yes, and again, this is a die cast. I realize it's not everything.
Yes,
but I still don't think they would have had that. Like, this is not far off of what they would have had.
True, very true.
Yeah.
So, so mildly disappointing from the Italians. Mercedes.
Oh, meh.
I didn't like it at the launch. I like it the more I see it on track.
That's fair.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like it's so plain.
I like this mix between the silver arrows and like the black one, and I kind of like it. It kind of gives me early 2000s McLaren vibes, and I like the light blue, like Patronus streak through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair.
I really don't hate this one. I thought when it first came out, I'm like, no, don't like it at all. But like the more I've looked at it, the more I'm like, you know what? I give it a 7.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, I
gonna
was
say I give
also
it a
there.
7.
Yeah, and the red was nice for a bit. I don't think it really truly fit into the actual livery. Like after the passing of Niki Lauda, it was a nice little thing to have, but it, in terms of like outside of the context of that, it didn't really fit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think,
But it
So
was sponsor
going
related
back
too, again.
Yes, yeah, but that's what I mean. Like it was a happy coincidence that it sort of fit together.
Yeah.
You have a red cap on the car.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice, and it's great that it worked out that way. But
They still
for
have the red star.
sponsorship, yep, and the red star is that will stay there, I think. But I, yeah, I didn't really like having the red intake.
That's fair.
McLaren. I mean, it's sort of the same. They've added some blue as well, just not going crazy like Ferrari did.
I will say the papaya orange, somehow this year, they've made it more papaya. I don't know how they did it, but they did it.
I think what works so well with this livery, and like again, like in the Ferrari, where it's the details like the blue that hurt it, this one's the opposite, where
The blue ads.
the little bit of blue adds, the MasterCard on the front wing mixes into your orange anyway. Like your little things you do just make it look good. And
Yeah.
like clearly you've gone, okay, we're going to go orange and black as our colors. And we'll throw in a little bit of blue as the accent. And it just works. It really does. Like I do not mind this one at all. And yeah, I think it's one of the better ones. I'll give that one an 8 too.
Yep, that was an 8 for me.
An 8 for me as well.
And lastly, Red Bull.
4.
Yeah, I think they do control copy and then paste on their livery every single year.
That
So
was a meme.
4 as well.
That was a meme where it
Yeah.
was it must be the easiest job designing the livery for this car because it's literally just copy paste, add different sponsor.
Yeah.
You look like a
It
genius
never
every year.
changes.
You can't fuck it up.
But it's just so true of going back how many years that the Red Bull B team always has the better livery than the Red Bull A team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I love the contrast of the white and the blue, but the white one is just. This is the exact same livery. It's the exact same almost, just one in white, one in blue.
The only thing, now that we've gone through both Red Bull teams, I'm willing to give. I realize this isn't worth a whole lot to multi-million-dollar racing organizations. I will give a bonus point to whoever brings back that Monaco Star Wars Revenge of the Sith livery for the 20th anniversary.
Oh boy.
And you have to bring the Stormtroopers back as the pit crew. Somebody do it.
That would be
Please.
incredible. That really would be.
That would be incredible.
You will get a bonus point.
But don't forget, back then, Red Bull was not a serious team.
Yes.
They were the equivalent of a Sauber.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's going to be V-Carb or Racing Bulls or whatever they want to call themselves.
V-Carb, they went over this in the damn presentation.
Oh, but okay. Hold on. Racing Bulls has the white livery and Stormtroopers are white. So therefore, they're already planning this.
Yeah, but Red Bull should do it because they're still kind of the evil empire.
That's true.
That's true. That's true.
So.
As long as they don't have a livery with Jar Jar Binks on it, I'll give them a point.
I was gonna say.
Honestly, yeah, the white one, I can just stare at the white one. It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good.
No hate for that one. So,
Yeah.
overall, some of the same from last year. Thank God someone did something different
Yes.
to give us mild hope.
I cannot wait to do our predictions next week.
Yep.
It's going to be good. Okay, anything else we have for this week?
No, I think that's pretty much it. So next week we have Phoenix for NASCAR. Thank God that's the only race because we're going to spend way too long over analyzing F1 testing.
Oh,
As
prior
always.
Prior to the first race in Australia, which that snuck up quickly. Going to set up our fantasy league for F1, so keep an eye out for that. Also, Drive to Survive releases. When does that release?
Is that next week?
It has to be because that's. I just don't know what exact date. It's usually the week before. They released the trailer 4 days ago. I still haven't watched it.
Okay,
season
anyway.
Season 7.
Seven. Wow.
Yeah.
Oof,
It's
wow.
amazing how
We'll-
it still has longevity, but like every other TV show, like spin off of a sport, dies within 2 seasons.
Friday. We get that on Friday.
Damn. Okay.
Right.
I guess we have that to talk about too.
Yep.
I'll probably do it last year, watch like the first 3 episodes and not finish the season.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh well.
There looks to be some interesting ones with what's it called? Newey's departure, Lewis's
Ooh.
departure.
It actually might be interesting. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah,
That's fair.
So
Anyway, that's a lot to look forward to next week. And on that note, thank you very much for listening to this week's episode, and we'll be back next week. And remember to give it a like, subscribe, all the fun things. And yeah, thank you and goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at Spare Parts Racing. That's Spare Parts RACIN, and on TikTok at Spare Parts Pod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.